It was supposed to be a harmless evening, a little party among friends and neighbors. I had spent days preparing my outfit, a blue dress that my husband, Aaron, once said made my eyes look brighter. When we arrived at the party, everyone was in high spirits, and laughter filled the air. For once, I wanted to feel like myself again. Not just a wife, not just someone's shadow. Our neighbor, Lucas, greeted us warmly. He was charming and funny, the kind of person who could make anyone smile. When he complimented my dress, I laughed and thanked him, not thinking much of it. But I noticed Aaron's jaw tighten, his eyes darken just a little. It was the first sign of what was coming. As the night went on, Lucas and I chatted about harmless things. The neighborhood, his new job, the weather. He even teased me about my cooking skills from the last community dinner. Aaron, however, kept glaring from across the room. Every time I smiled, he seemed to grow colder. I tried to ignore it, but his jealousy was like smoke filling the air, invisible but choking. When the music started, a few couples danced. Lucas jokingly offered me his hand. "Just one dance," he said. I hesitated, glancing at Aaron, who was already frowning. "It's just for fun," I told him softly, but he didn't answer. I danced for less than a minute before Aaron grabbed my arm and whispered harshly, "Enough." The room fell silent for a second, and I felt everyone's eyes on us. I pulled my arm away, embarrassed and angry. "You're overreacting," I said, but Aaron stormed out of the party. I stayed a little longer, trying to calm down and not let his temper ruin my night. Still, I left early, expecting to find him waiting for me at home so we could talk things through. But when I arrived, the house was dark, and locked from the inside. At first, I thought he had gone to bed angry, so I knocked softly. No answer. I called his phone, but it went straight to voicemail. When I checked the door again, I realized something strange. My key didn't fit anymore. Confused, I tried again, but it was useless. He had changed the locks. My chest tightened. I called him again, then again, but still nothing. Finally, a message appeared on my phone. Asterisk, "You wanted freedom? You've got it. Don't come back." Asterisk, I stood there on the porch, shaking. All my things, my clothes, my documents, everything, were inside that house. And I had nowhere else to go that night. I went to my friend Clara's house and stayed there. I cried quietly on her couch, feeling humiliated and betrayed. I hadn't cheated. I hadn't done anything wrong. I only wanted one evening to laugh, to feel noticed. But Aaron's jealousy had turned it into something ugly. Clara helped me calm down and promised I could stay as long as I needed. The next morning, I returned to the house. My things were gone. Even the plants I had cared for were gone. Aaron's car was parked outside, but when he saw me approach, he drove away. A neighbor told me a moving truck had come early that morning. He had packed everything and left. I didn't know where. Days passed, and eventually, I found out through a mutual friend that Aaron had moved to another city. He told everyone I had embarrassed him publicly, that I had disrespected him in front of other men. I wanted to scream that it wasn't true, but I realized it didn't matter. People would believe what they wanted to believe. For weeks, I lived with Clara and tried to rebuild. I found a small apartment and started working again. Slowly, I began to understand that Aaron's jealousy had never been love, it was control. That night at the party had only shown what was already there, hidden beneath his smile. Months later, Lucas saw me at a cafe and apologized, saying he felt guilty for causing trouble. I smiled and told him it wasn't his fault. If one conversation was enough to break my marriage, I said, then it was already broken. He nodded, understanding. Now, I live alone, peacefully. Sometimes I think of that night, the laughter, the music, the look in Aaron's eyes before everything fell apart. It still hurts a little, but I've learned something important. A love built on control is no love at all. I lost my home that night, but I found my freedom.